What's jumped out about what they do with their kind of new personnel they brought on?
Yeah, a lot jumps out on problems that they can cause. First of all, they play with a lot of pace. We're going to have to do a good job getting back in transition. They really share it. They do a good job. Creating threes. Jaco Jonas is unbelievably impressive at the point guard position for his age, assist to turnover ratio. He's a wizard in ball screens. So, we're going to have to do a good job, trying to not only contest shots but contest passes, buy rotations time, and close out with urgency, which we obviously did not do a great job of that early in the game the other day. And it's funny how this game works, and the basketball gods work. We're down 19-2. Burke dives on the floor, first to floor, that makes a great hustle play, and then the next thing you know, we're on a 19-4 run. So, we just have to make a play like that early, to set the tone and hopefully, get the advantage with the 50-50 game. The other thing with Illinois is they are relentless on the glass. They had 21 offensive rebounds in their last game against Northwestern's. They had 15 at Michigan State, which is damn near impossible to do with that team and their physicality. They lead the nation in rebound margin, and they crash everybody. So it's not just they don't send anybody back. They all five crash, and if we don't make contact and play physical, it's going to be a long day.
With the perimeter defense, I know you've talked about how the scheme works and can be elite when the effort is there. How far away is the effort from being to where it needs to be?
I look at it this way, Robin. 23 days ago we were 12-2. We were 2-1 in league. We had the 9th-ranked defense in the country, and I think we were projected 5 seed. We were doing a lot of really good things. We've lost our identity. Our identity was a gritty, dirty, ugly, just grinded out type of team. And right now we're not getting those stops, and it affects the ball going the other way. When we got stops, we got 11 in a row at one point in that Wisconsin game the other day. And you saw what that did to our offense. We're not great when we have to take the ball out of the net. So if we can string stops together like we were doing earlier in the season, that's going to be our chance. It's going to be our only chance. We've had a lot of very long, real discussions with our group these last couple days, and I hope it carries over. We can't have a here we go again mentality, and I've seen that when the ball isn't going in the basket, when teams are hitting shots, whatever they are, semi-contested, contested, heads drop, and we just are not worth a damn when that happens. So we got to find a way to battle through these tough times, through adversity. We found a group that got it going. Unfortunately, Raleigh picked up his second foul when we were on that run, and Sam, couldn't even breathe. So, had to make a couple subs, and you hope your guys go back in and build off what the bench guys did or whatever group was in there, what they did. But we didn't. That thing flipped right back. Our energy dropped, and we never got it back. So, when we're doing things well, we got to continue on with those things. There's a formula, and when it's working, we're a pretty good team.
When you talk about like body language and that sort of thing, how surprising is that on a team with 6 seniors that's been?
Well, listen, I've been around this game a long time at every level, and it happens, regardless of what it is when you're going through a difficult stretch. We got to get a win. We have to get a win to get our guys some confidence and to get out of that mentality of, here we go again. But, it's, again, when things are going well, I kind of see us right here. When things are going good, we go here. When things aren't, we go like that. And you have to be here regardless of the circumstance of what's going on the floor. And, I hate even saying this because I know it doesn't matter, but in practice we're pretty damn good, But when the lights turn on and when the adversity hits, for whatever reason, we lose that. We kind of get that blank look on our face, and we got to get out of that. If we have any chance of winning, any chance of making a run, we got to get out of that mentality. The other thing I look at, and again, you try to do everything you can to talk to your group about, the sky it's crumbling, but it's not falling all the way down. I look at our team 2 years ago, Bandamel and Jawan go down. We're 3-9 in league, and all of a sudden we flip it and we go 6-2. Had the best record in the Big Ten in February with the depleted roster, but we fought, man. We fought every day, so we can turn this thing around. But I'm sick of saying it. It's like I'm beating a dead horse in that room, saying, all right, there's time, there's chances, but we're running out of them. We're running out of time. So we got to get this thing going. And what we did in this building a year ago was special. And we got to get that back. And then we get to go on an extended road trip, which I think will be good for this group to be able to spend quality time together, similar to our tournament in Hawaii when we were playing some of our best basketball of the season. But it's all about tomorrow, man. I mean, we took our board down. We had standings in there. We have Nebraska and Illinois, and that's it. And these games have to be our Super Bowl, for the rest of the year. One game at a time if we want to get out of this. I know it's the oldest cliche in a book, but that's where we are right now.
Is there a role that sports psych can play where it's maybe the same message but coming from a different person?
Yeah, and I'm confident in our sports psych department, and we have a sports psychiatrist that is at practice. She's in our locker room. She's at our games. So yes, I do think all that. When you look at everything, Kurt Joseph, he does meditation with our guys. He has a mindfulness program that he does with our guys. They do yoga. So we're trying a lot of things, Amy. And again, you just got to go out there, and I'm sick of talking about it. You got to go out there and execute it.
Are there any players specifically who have maybe done a better job of not getting that blank look and staying with?
I've talked a lot about Juwan, this season. And if you would have told me 3 years ago when we got Juwan, if he would be the one that would emerge into this, I'm not sure I would have believed it. But I'm proud of the kid, man. He has really done a great job of being the constant voice, and we needed that with no Rink, with no Josiah, with no Casey. CJ was a good leader for us a year ago. I mean, we lost, a lot of really strong voices that aren't there anymore. But I give Juwan credit. He's the guy every day I know that comes in here. And the other guy, we watched. Again, you're searching for something to try to get them going, keep their spirits. We showed some clips from earlier in the year of our bench, just how engaged and how much everybody's pulling, whatever their role is, pulling for each other. And the guy I give a lot of credit to is Jeff Grace. Most people probably don't even know who Jeff Grace is, but when I see Jeff Grace, when I see Henry Burt out there scoring a basket and see the group jump off, they love those guys, man. And Jeff Grace is going to go down as one of my all-time favorites. He is the voice. He and Juwan are the two I hear more than anybody. And Jeff, he's played a couple possessions at the end when we need a steal, to go in there. But I'm just telling you, man, you got a kid like that knows he's probably not going to get in the game, that brings a voice and tries to get the guys going and brings an energy, and it has a unbelievable spirit to him. And, when you see your guys pulling for guys like that, we need to get that back. If everybody could have Jeff Grace's spirit, man, it would make our jobs a lot easier. But, to answer your question, yes, Juwan, Jeff, those are the voices I hear more than anybody.
You used 2 starting lineups the last 2 games. Have you gotten any closer to figuring out kind of like who that core you want to open games with?
It's going to be different probably every game, Robin. It's going to be matchups. It's going to be who's got it going. We'll make that determination, give it one more look, go back and watch film from practice today, and then make the final decision before shoot around tomorrow.
Going off of that, how do you, balance someone like Rowdy who seems to be getting a little confident in his role off the bench, but at the same time, you guys have probably been at your best with him on the court, and maybe you need him to start. How do you sort of balance that?
I don't recognize you without your hat on, first of all. But yes, Raleigh's playing as good a stretch as he's had since he's been here. I've been really impressed with the mentality that he's brought, and he handled the change in role like a champion. And again, you look at what happened last game. If unfortunately picked up that second foul, and in that run, our best shooter missed a couple open threes. That we'll take that shot every day. We should have had a lead when we fought back, and then who knows what happens. But unfortunately, Raleigh picked up that second foul. But I thought he really was the catalyst in that run of getting us open shots. He found Connor in transition a couple times, got downhill into the paint, hit a couple shots, guarded. So yes, Raleigh, I've been really proud of him, how he's played. And we get 11 games left, guys. I mean, we got a lot of games, and again, it might be different. Braxton didn't play last game. He's going to have games where he's going to start. There may be, other games based on matchups where it does happen like it did the other day. So, everybody's got to be ready. When your name's called, go make a positive impact on the game. Make winning plays and have a great attitude.
What's the next level, or is there something with Bryce that you'd like him to focus on to help you out of this rut?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Bryce has a lot of responsibility, and that goes with being the best player on the team. And, when I look back on his season, when you look at Hawaii, when you look at Indiana, I mean, he's as good as any player in the league. at that time. And there's a lot of attention on him right now, rightfully so. He's a hell of a player and an unbelievable talent. You know, consistency, being better on the ball. You know, he was as good as anybody guarding the ball. Our defensive numbers skyrocketed when we made a change a year ago and started him at the point. And, you know, a lot of that was because of his defense. So just that defensive intensity, consistent defensive intensity is very important, you know, not only with Bryce, with everybody, with our whole team. And, you know, urgency, that's a big word, urgency, consistency. You know, all those things that you try to do to get your guys going. But you need it out of your older players and your best players. They got to bring it, man. They got to bring it or you're not going to win.
So Braxton not playing was just matchup.
It was a matchup thing, yep.
In the current era of rosters changing in college basketball, how does a team like Illinois manage to maintain success with an entirely different roster?
Yeah, I mean, they got a couple pickups late that really, I mean, they got two of the best players in the league, and it happened kind of late, and they flipped and switched schools, and give them credit. I mean, they are a exciting, fun, they've won 3 road games already. One of those was a 32-point win at Oregon. So they're playing as well on the road as they are at home. And, you know, they can come in and embarrass you. And look what they did at Indiana. You know, they won that game by 30. So, yeah, dangerous team. And, again, they play so hard, man. They're so physical. And Brad's done a great job. So, you know, this team, again, with their talent level and their skill and their toughness, they're going to be in it right at the end.
Just because we're not going to have a press conference before the out west trip, you mentioned Hawaii. Is there any benefit just the fact that you guys have already had like a 3-4 stay on the West Coast and maybe have a better idea of how to manage sort of that stretch than other Big Ten teams who are doing that for the first time?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's an advantage or not. I think a lot of it is where your headspace is. And right now, obviously, we're not playing, you know, to the level that we were playing at that time. So we got to grow tomorrow. That's a big game for us. Whatever the result, you know, we got to learn from it. We got to get better from it. But yeah, we go out there and you know, we're still figuring out exactly if we can stay over. We're going to stay over in Oregon, try to practice there as opposed to flying and practicing at Washington, and then we'll get a day in the arena in Seattle and then and play. And we're going to stay over. I talked to John Cook about this when they played out west. They ended up staying overnight and flying back the next morning, which I think is better than getting home at 5 a.m. You know, back in the old NBA days, you did fly back after the game, but you only had a day and then you had to play, so you almost had to do that. But man, that was a hard game. So we'll have 3 days when we get back, but again, our sole focus right now is Illinois. I could give two, you know what's about our West Coast trip right now. We got a big one tomorrow night.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks, guys.